Good afternoon. So the last class we stopped on our heading 1, our basic tag. Nextly, we'll be talking about HTML attributes. Your attributes are whereby you have a class of styling. For example, we have something like this. You have this cassette of UTF-8. This is an attribute because it's having an equal to sign with a two-sentence case, UTF-8. So those are attributes. Now I'll be deleting this one, then we'll talk about attributes. Now, before I start, HTML attributes provide additional information about HTML elements. And all HTML elements can have attributes on their own, whereby we have a class, we have an ID, a type of, like a color, a style. Those are our attributes. Attributes provide additional information about elements. Attributes are always specified in the start tag and not in the closing. Over here we have our starting tag. This is the opening. This is the starting tag, and this number 10 here, this is our closing tag. The difference between the opening and the closing is differentiated by this / only, which means all content inside are the same, the body are the same, but for you to identify which of them is the opening or which of them is the closing tag, you need to add the / to the closing one before. Okay, I think there's a mistake there. You need a / in the closing tag before it can be identified as a closing tag. But without the /, which means your browser will count them as an opening tag and also an opening tag for each section. Now, the href attributes, we have the href attribute. The anchor tag defines an hyperlink. The href attribute specifies the URL of the page that the link goes to, which means we are referencing a link to another. This is something that I mean. We have, this is anchor tag A. You know, I said something about abbreviation. Instead of writing anchor tag, we just use A as the anchor tag. So A is the link. And now the href here is referencing us to one particular place. For example, I'm referencing this href. I'm referencing this href to our Google homepage. So we use Google. Just have to repeat the link https. We use our :/google.com. Now this particular one. Okay, now inside here is where our text will be inputted. We need to use something like navigate. So Google page. Now let's click on go live for us to open the live server, which means it will be navigating us to our Google homepage. Now, you see, it's written in blue over here. Reason is written in blue is that is a link that refers us to one particular place. Over here, down below this place, where my cursor is now, immediately I over this, you see a link that will be displayed here, which means there's a link there. Now let me connect to my internet first. Now if I should click on this one, it's taking me to google.com, but since there is no internet, you have to see press spacebar to play. So those are Google. What we have. Okay, yeah. Let's continue. Now it has to load your website. If the google.com should open inside your website, you have to set it to be normal. Or if you want it to open on another browser like this is our website, and here is another workspace. And I want our website not to open in our own website, it should open in another workspace, which means we have to set the target to a blank space. Which means now this is the blank space where we can just type anything or search anything from. So everything is working perfectly fine. Next one is we'll be needing another tags Now another attribute, you will learn more about hyperlinks and so on. So we have the image tag. Now you can see over here we have our Google homepage over here. This is our Google homepage, which means the navigate to google.com is actually working. You can see over in our editor. Let me minimize this, and you see here we have our navigate to Google homepage, which is actually working. Now another attribute we need to add. Now for you to identify an attribute is identified using a equal to sign and a 2 quotation mark. You can see over here is writing loading. Now for us, this is one of the attributes. To have a class like this. Now for you to add an attribute, you need to add an equal to sign, which is the first attribute you'll be needing to add an equal to sign, and you'll be needing a quotation mark. The first quotation mark is to open the attribute, and the second quotation mark is to close your attribute. This is the opening of your attribute, and this is the closing of your attribute. But calling this equal to now is assigning a value to this attribute. So that's what we mean by HTML attribute. Now another one is the image. We need the img. Abbreviation of image, you need the img tag. So the img is written like this: img src, which is for source attribute. Now this is the attribute, this is the source, equal to, and 2 sentence case. So this is the source of images / my picture .jpg. So this is the link we have. This is the source attribute of where our image is found, and this is the alt. This alt attribute is the alternative. If this image is not available, the alt will be displayed that image not available. So those are attributes, and these are what we mean by self-opening and self-closing tag. You can see it's open with a greater than sign here. It open with a lesser than sign over here, and closes with a greater than sign. So the less than sign here is to open your work, is to open your editor, and the greater than sign is to close it. But in the case of this anchor tag, we have the opening tag like this. This is the opening tag, and this is the closing tag. The difference of a /, but the A is the same, which means anything you have at the opening of your HTML, same thing goes to your closing. Now mind you, before we start about this attribute, said it should always be specified in your opening, in your start tag. This is your start tag of your anchor tag. This is your start tag. This is the first start tag, and this is the second closing tag. Now the start tag have the attribute of href, which means the h there is standing for HTML, and the ref there is standing for reference, which means the full meaning of that href is HTML reference, referencing us to Google Workspace, referencing us to google.com. So let's check what we have here. Now you can see we have navigate to Google homepage. Now since this is navigating us to our Google before, now it's navigating, this href is navigating us to google.com. Let's change this thing now to WhatsApp. Let's change to whatsapp.me. Am I right? /708098994. Let's see what we got. Now let's click if it's displayed. If you should be working, that is a WhatsApp link, but WhatsApp link are not just automatically generated yourself. You use a link to generate it, but typically I can generate my own myself. So moving on to the next, these are 2 ways to specify the URL in the source attribute. We have absolute URL and relative URL. Absolute URL are like link you copied from your website. a link of image that you copied from your website, or a link that someone sent to you and you just paste in. Those are what we call absolute URL. And we have relative URL by linking a image automatically to something yourself. Better.